Good morning, everyone. You know, we're in the year 2020, and 2020 is going to go down in history as a year that thus far we've already experienced a pandemic, and now we're experiencing pandemonia with riots and violence and police brutality, which triggered all of this unrest in America. Now, when the year started, I said to myself, 2020 is all about vision, 2020 vision. I said, this is the year we're going to have great vision, great and lofty goals and aspirations, that we're going to get keen perspective in our lives. But now I realize there's another term, 2020 hindsight. In 2020 hindsight, we realize that in the first half of the year, we've experienced things that we've never experienced before. But I'm not letting go of the 2020 vision, because sometimes the greatest vision in life is insight. And hopefully we have new insight as Americans, as human beings, that will give us a better and a clearer perspective and a renewed vision of what life is all about. Because, you know, after all, I once heard this beautiful TED Talk from this woman who tragically suffered a lot of grief and tragedy in her life. And she said, people often say, you need to move on. And she said, we don't move on in life. We move forward in life. Move on implies I'm leaving that behind. You can't leave your past behind. What you can do is move forward with your past experiences. And as Americans and as human beings, having experienced both a pandemic and now pandemonia, we have to move forward. We don't move on from what we've experienced. We take it with us with new vision, new 2020 vision, a 2020 vision that could only come from 2020 hindsight. And with this new 2020 hindsight, we have a vision that we've never seen before. In this week's Torah portion, which is the longest Torah portion in the entire Torah, the portion of Naso, what makes it so long is that it describes the dedication of the tabernacle in the wilderness that the Jews erected on the first day of Nisan. And for the first 12 consecutive days, one representative of each tribe brought a series of gifts and offerings to inaugurate and to dedicate the temple. And what makes this Torah portion the lengthiest one is that the Torah repeats 12 days in a row, starting with the tribe of Judah and going on to each of the 12 tribes, the exact gifts and offerings that each tribe representative brought on behalf of their tribe to dedicate the newly established sanctuary tabernacle for God. But what's fascinating is that every tribe brought the identical gifts and the identical offerings for the tabernacle. Imagine someone has a housewarming, and people bring gifts to the housewarming, and everyone brings the identical gift. 12 tribes, they brought the exact same offerings and the exact same gifts. And the question is, if each one brought identical gifts, why does the Torah have to repeat every day what each one brought? Why doesn't it just say Judah brought it on the first day, and every other tribe list who they are and that they brought exactly what Judah brought? Why repeat it 12 times in a row, which makes it such a long Torah portion? After all, the Torah is full of brevity and is very concise, and if there's even an extra word, let alone a verse, even a letter that's extra in the Torah, the rabbis interpret it and deduce many new insights and laws from one letter. And here the Torah spends dozens and dozens of verses just repeating what each tribe brought each and every day. And one of the very keen insights and understandings that the commentaries offer is that sometimes in life you see multiple people doing the same thing. And you think, oh, they're all identical. Because on the surface, superficially, they look the same. They're doing the identical thing. What we fail to realize is that no two people think alike, no two people feel alike, no two people have the same spiritual experiences. And therefore 12 people may be seemingly doing the exact same thing, bringing the same offerings to God, but only God knows that each one is unique and one of a kind. You could walk into a synagogue and everyone's singing the same song. Externally, everyone's saying the same words, but everyone's having a different feeling, a different meditation. And God knows the distinction between each one. And therefore God repeats each one 12 days in a row to illustrate that point that everyone is a one and only person in God's world. And God sees you for who you are and knows what's in your heart and your mind and in your soul. And I think that is the first lesson we have to learn today. We should never look at people superficially. It doesn't matter what the color of their skin is, black or white. Every person is a universe unto themselves, and we have to see beyond the external facade and see them the way God sees them, as a human being in their image. And that's the first thing we have to move forward with as Americans, that we have to respect and honor the dignity in every human being and the image of God in every human being, which is equal in every single person, because everyone is created in God's divine image. The second lesson, of course, is that sometimes in life we say, life is boring. Yesterday was like today, tomorrow is like yesterday. Everything is just repetitious. And therefore God says, no, every day is a new gift. Someone once said, today I opened up 2 presents, my eyes. Every day you see the new world with new wonder, new excitement, new things that on the external, this world looks the same as it did yesterday, today. But every day you could see something new in the world. And that's what this pandemic has taught us. There are so many things in this world that are invisible, like a virus. You can't see it with the naked eye, but it exists. So too, there is spirituality, there is goodness, there is sanctity and holiness, love and blessings all around us. But we have to be able to see beyond the external world. We have to see the depth, the inner soul of the universe, just like we have to see into the soul of our fellow human being. Teenagers have a lot of acronyms that they use when they text, and one of the popular ones is they say YOLO, YOLO, and it's an acronym for you only live once, and it's an expression saying let's have fun, let's just go for it, because hey, after all, YOLO, you only live once. But the truth is, that's a lie. You only die once, but you live every day anew. And that's the message of the 12 tribes. Every day is a new gift, and God sees it as a new gift. Don't think today is like yesterday or tomorrow will be like today. Every day is a new present from Hashem. See the newness and the freshness and the love in every day as though it was the only day of your life, because you only die once, but you live each and every day anew. One of the things that came out of this pandemic that many people pointed out was that we were all going in this rat race. And as someone said, even if you win the rat race in life, you're still a rat. And now we had time to slow down and contemplate. And now with this pandemonium and the violence in America and the racism, we have to think about our lives and our relationship with our fellow man. And one of the lessons that we learned from this experience is to slow down and ask ourselves, where are we going? In Hebrew there's 2 words, Eretz and Shemayim. Eretz means earth, Shemayim means heaven. What's the difference between heaven and earth? So the word Eretz has the word Ratz, which means run. The earthly mundane perspective is you're always running, running, running. But the word Shemayim has the word Sham, there, which means you know where you're going. When you have a goal, when you have an objective, when you have a purpose in your life, you know where you're going, why you're doing all of this. Then you have heaven on earth. When we need to now learn how to bring heaven down to earth, we need to have an objective, a meaning, a purpose to our lives. And then all the running is worthwhile and meaningful. To just conclude with an experience I once had. Dini and I often are blessed to go to Israel with members of our congregation from the synagogue, our family. And one of the stops we always make on Shabbat is at the home of a lovely couple that lives in Jerusalem. And their name is Abba and Pamela Kleiman. Those who've been on trips with us have been to their home. They have this magnificent home in the old city of Jerusalem, overlooking the Western Wall and the Har HaBayit, the Temple Mount. And we always have a Shabbos meal with them. And it's always uplifting and inspiring and beautiful. And what's so beautiful about their home is the love and the warmth and the generosity and the hospitality. But also, they always have soldiers in their home. They love inviting soldiers. And whenever you go to their home, they have this big table with sometimes 30, 40, 50 guests, or even more. And there's always at least a dozen or 2 dozen soldiers at the Shabbat table in full uniform. And it's such a beautiful Shabbat experience. And one of the many times we were there, the soldiers started singing a song to a tune that I knew, but I never heard the words that they put into the song. And the song they sang was, Am hanetzach lo mifached mi derech haruka. Am hanetzach lo mifached mi derech haruka. La 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 la. A very joyous song. What do these words mean? This saying that the Israeli soldiers inserted to this tune was Am HaNetzach, the eternal nation, Lo Mifached, is not afraid, Miderek Aruka, from the long road. The reason why we are the eternal nation, and we've managed to go and survive and prevail and overcome so many challenges and continue to exist, not only to exist, but to thrive in our own homeland, is because Am HaNetzach, the eternal nation, Lo Mefached, is not afraid, Miderech Aruka, to take the long road. Life is a journey, but if we know where we're going, we knew we were making our way back to Israel. It may have taken 1900 years from the time the Romans expelled us, but we knew we're journeying back home. We never stopped praying, L'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim, next year back in Jerusalem and Israel. And because we're never afraid of the long road, we came back home. We reached Sham, there, our goal, our destination, heaven. Yes, life is a journey, and sometimes the road is long. But if you know where you're going, and you have a goal, and you have a vision, and that vision comes from 2020 hindsight and what you've learned from your past experiences, which gives you new perspective on the future, and you're not afraid to take that journey, you will arrive. And so to all of us who have just experienced an unprecedented historical year of 2020, a pandemic, and just when we thought we were getting out of it, now pandemonium, let us remember that we will get there. We will move forward. We will not move on. We will move forward with our past experiences. And if we have no fear for the long journey ahead, and we take on that journey courageously, and we learn to have new eyes, to see each other in a new light, and to see the world around us in a new light, we will arrive at our destination, and we will be able to sing together, Am HaNetzach, Lo Mifached, Miderech Arucha. We are an eternal people, because we're never afraid to take the long road to achieve our dreams, our vision, and our goals. Have a wonderful day.